Yeah.
We on?
We live, baby.
Yeah, you can see me?
I can't see you. I can see your screen, though.
I think I'm.
Yeah, you got.
I'm backwards.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome home.
What it look like?
Welcome home, Young Z.
Good looking, y'all. I appreciate it.
No doubt, no doubt. For everybody logging on right now, this is History Lesson, episode 96. I am with the legendary Young Z of the Outsidaz.
Young.
Everybody wish him a happy welcome back to the world, everybody.
Yeah. Good looking, all that good shit. You know what I mean? Yes, nigga, sir. Back in the building.
Yes, sir. Hey, we missed you, man. Let's get caught up on some things.
Yeah. What it look like?
No doubt. We're going to do a little history lesson, take everybody back and acknowledge you for all the past achievements, and then work our way up to what you got currently going on today. If you could take everybody back to where you were born and raised.
I was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey. You know what I mean? I was raised in Essex County. I lived in Cali for a little while, you know what I mean, when I was younger. You know what I mean? So yeah, Essex County is really my place of birth and my home, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
What was what was a day in the life like as a teenager for Young Z growing up there?
It was just like, you know, the regular hustle and bustle of chilling with my niggas, doing all type of crazy stuff, but just because we was bored, you know what I mean? Getting into mischief, you know, messing with a bunch of girls and smoking mad weed. You know what I mean? As I grew older, the mischief got worse, and you know, you can start doing shit like dumping acid, and you know what I mean?
Right.
It's the stuff you have to go through in the beginning stages of like a rock star. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
What other obstacles did you have to endure growing up there?
You know, trying to, you know, just survive really. You know what I mean? Trying to get money. You know, niggas I grew up with, our family wasn't rich. You know what I mean? We was poor. So if we wanted the finer things that everybody else had, we had to start getting money. So we had to start putting plans together to get money. But I never really sold coke or hard drugs. I just started, you know, we started selling weed. We got a spot. First we were selling $5 bags of, you know, the regular bullshit weed. And then it graduated up to like piff and, you know, all the different exotic weeds. And then, you know what I mean, I got with my crew, the Outsidaz, we started rapping. We got this spot in on 20th Street in Springfield Avenue. We started selling 2 for $10 bags. Shout out Marshall, shout out Mike G. And we, you know what I mean? We started just selling 2 for $10 bags and selling weed. And the spot started jumping, and it was on from there. We bought all this music equipment and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And it was just basically on from there.
Growing up before music, can you take us back to what some of your earlier musical influences were before you were MC?
I think like Large Professor, that was my man, you know what I mean? You know, the regular LL Cool J, Rakim, you know what I mean? People like that. I even like Sugar Hill Gang and motherfuckers like, I like all kind of rap. I think you kind of gotta like, well, back then it wasn't so saturated with all these, like a million people rapping. It was a good 25 rappers, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of basically like them all, Beastie Boys, Run DMC, all of them. And like, all of them molded me into being who I am today. Cypress Hill, all of them, you know what I mean? They drive, how they feel, you know, I could feel how they feel, like when you on stage, and I always wanted to feel like that, you know what I mean? So I just got into the pen and paper, and I started off with just like single syllable rhyming, and then I discovered you could double rhyme. Instead of just saying walking down the street, pick up a beat, you know what I mean? I started double rhyming, and you know what I mean? And from there, it was crazy. You know what I mean? Word. What? Now we into tripling, quadrupling, quintuplets, and you know what I mean? All type of shit. Word.
What year would you say this was about that you first got into MCing? Was that your first foray into music? Usually artists say they were dancers or DJs. Was MC?
Nah, I wasn't none of that. I used to try to pop a little bit, but you know what I mean? That wasn't my thing. I wasn't really good at that. But you know, my dudes, they all did that back in East Orange. So I just took up the slack for rapping, and you know, I started rapping. And yeah, I ain't never take the steps. Although I want to learn how to DJ, I be tagging a little bit Z1 zone, and you know what I mean, places. But yeah, breakdancing, all of that shit is a part of hip hop, not just rhyming. You know what I mean?
Right.
Weird.
What year would you say that it was that you picked up the pad and the pen?
Let me see, like probably like around 85, 86 when I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? I started rhyming, trying my rhymes out for my brother and, you know what I mean, my friends, and they was just souping me up like, yo, that shit is fresh. So I started rhyming more and more and more. Then we started getting in the studio because these dudes in East Orange started putting us in a studio called Family Affair. That was our manager for the Outsidaz for a minute. And yeah, I just started getting in the studio because I wanted to hear my voice on the beat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and once I started hearing my voice on the beat, it got me sprung. I was like, I want this. This is what I want. You know what I mean? And I always, it wasn't even about the money back then. It was just about, I wanted to be better than you. You know what I mean? Like whoever you are, I want to be better than you. So in order for me to do that, I got to get into my notebook. You know what I mean? Right. And so I just took off from there. Like every time I hear a rapper rapping or see a rapper on TV, I be like, all right, I could be better than that. I could do better than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I feel like nowadays, even back then to nowadays, I think some people just write their rhymes and they don't go back over them and, you know what I mean, proofread the shits and like fix them up, tweak them up. Right. I feel like you got to do that. You know what I mean? Rhyming is about rhyming. Rap is rhyming. So you got to rhyme a lot. Stuff these rhymes in there as much as you can and make them come together, make them make sense, make them be exciting. You know what I mean? You got to do all of that to be a good rapper to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Word.
Can you take me back to the forming of the Outsidaz? Was Pace One and yourself the key ingredients to bringing everybody together?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Pace and DU, you know what I mean? I went to this party on New Year's with these chicks, and I ain't know nobody at the party. So, you know, niggas were just talking and talking and talking, and then a couple of niggas started talking about their rap and stuff like that. So I'm like, bet, like, let's go outside and battle. So it was Pace and DU and a couple other niggas. We went outside and battled, and I thought Pace and DU was fresh. You know what I mean? So, you know, we end up leaving that party together, and then we got with our man down the street. We started recording, just me, Pace and DU, and my man A-Form that make the beats. Then we used to go to battles, and like we would battle other motherfuckers, and like the best person from the battle to me, I would try to put him down with the click, like Axe. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers like I thought was good. I wanted to roll with us because I wanted to have a crew of the best niggas. And battling was my first foremost, like if you said you rap, we had to go back and forth. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wanted my crew to all be able to do that, not just rap and make songs. I wanted to be able to just dog niggas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Word.
So what year would you say that was that the group started forming?
Like around 92. I was like 22, you know what I mean? Then we met Digga on a bus. Me and DU met Digga on a bus. And then, you know, they played their music for me on the bus. So we went to their crib, started chilling with them. And that's how they got down with us. But they was down with like Queen Latifah, Das Effects. You know what I mean? They introduced me to Das Effects. Now they my niggas. Shout out Drazy. But yeah, you know what I mean? Digga was her partner. She was with a partner, Twice the Flavor. I didn't really dig her attitude about rap, you know what I mean? But I dig Digga's attitude about rap. She wanted to battle. She wanted to go to all the shows, and she was just in there with us. So, you know what I mean? That's how, you know, we got Digga down with the posse too. Word.
Earlier on, were you trying to get the whole group on, or were you a solo artist trying to pursue a deal?
Well, I was a solo artist, which I was getting a deal with what's Flavor Unit? Flavor Unit wanted to sign me, right? But the A&R Flavor Unit was like, I'm leaving here next week to go be on to work for Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Don't sign here. You know what I mean? Wait till I get over there and I'm gonna sign you over there. So I went over there and he signed me. But we always soloists. Me and Pace, I was solo. Pace was solo. DU was no DU and Pace was in a group. The real characters. And like niggas was just either solo or it was a couple groups inside. Like Digga was in Twice the Flavor. You know what I mean? So everybody wasn't solo. So we was all just pursuing, you know, maybe a group deal. I didn't really even think about that because once one of us got on, I know all of us was going to end up getting on. Like it happened anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Word. So, you know.
Can you take me back to, did you shop a demo and how'd you end up at Perspective Records?
I told you the A&R that used to work for Flavor Unit named Kobe Brown. He used to work there. You know, he was about to sign me. I had the contracts and everything. But then he got offered a job with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, which is Perspective Records. So he was like, I'm about to go over there next week. Just wait. And so I waited. And he went over there and got me the deal. Like the first week he got there, he got me the deal. You know what I mean? Right. We just started trying to make shit happen from there. You know what I mean?
Before that, did you shop your demo any other labels, or was Perspective your first and only choice?
No, I didn't really shop my demo anywhere. My bros, they said I should go, you know, to Flavor Unit because Flavor Unit had Naughty. They had a lot of little niggas from the hood, so it was like, this is the label that's putting niggas on from the hood. So when I went up there, they wanted to sign me from the gate. They were like, this shit is fire. We're signing you. Wait right here. Came back with the contracts. You know what I mean? It was that easy. Right. And then, you know, but I ended up not signing there anyway. You know what I mean? Okay. But it was all good though.
Can you take us back to recording Musical Meltdown? What was that recording process like? And you say you didn't sign there. What was that deal for?
Musical Meltdown was the album I did on Perspective Records. You know what I mean? I loved it. We was going to the studio. It was me and my crew first time in like real big studios in New York. Like we was gas, we was soup. And you know, we was just up there like all the time. Like they wanted me to record all the time. They had me recording like 24 hours, you know what I mean, at a time. So, you know, they expected a lot from me. So I was just in there just dogging songs every day. Boom, 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 boom. But I always keep a notebook full of like mad rhymes. I don't like, even if I'm not in the studio, like some days I just write all day. That's all I want to do is write all day. You know what I mean? Right. So that's how I prosper, I feel like, in my music career.
How did you gain the attention of artists like KRS-ONE and Q-Tip to want to work with you on that debut album?
All right, I'll tell you how I met KRS-ONE. I'm at a party. Digga is performing with Smooth the Hustler and Trigger the Gambler, right? So I went downstairs to use the bathroom and I passed this room and I seen KRS-ONE in there. And I seen a lot of niggas rapping, but KRS-ONE was sitting at a table with his boys. He wasn't with the niggas rapping. So I went in there and it was like 8 niggas rapping. So I bust a verse. So them niggas all turned on me like, all right, we gonna battle you. It's gonna go me, him, you. Me, him, you. And I said, nah, we gonna go me, you, me, you, me, you, me, you. Fuck all of that. So the first nigga kicked the rhyme, then I kicked the rhyme. The second nigga kicked the rhyme, I kicked the rhyme. And when the third nigga was about to kick the rhyme, I felt a hand on my shoulder and somebody was like, nah, let him go again. And I looked over, it was KRS-ONE hugging me like, nah, let this nigga go right here, go again. So I went again, blah, 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 you know what I mean? And left with KRS-ONE that day. And he, you know what I mean? He did like mad beats on my album and shit. That's how I met KRS-ONE.
What about Q-Tip?
I forgot how I met Q-Tip, but Q-Tip, when Q-Tip was definitely my man. He signed Digga. Like when I was about to do a video for one of my songs on Perspective, but they wanted Q-Tip to do a remix to the beat. So the night before we was about to do the video, I'm in the studio with Q-Tip and the Outsidaz, and Digga was 8 months pregnant. You know what I mean? So we couldn't smoke in there. So we all went outside and left Digga and Q-Tip in there. And then I guess, you know, she bust some rhymes for him. And when we came back, Q-Tip was like, yo, I want to sign her. And I was like, man, like, let's go, nigga. And he, you know, he signed her to Elektra Records and it was on from there, you know what I mean? Her career was leaping from there on, you know what I mean? And then Busta was my man because he used to come to my sessions with KRS-ONE and he used to, you know, he jumped on a couple of my songs. You know, we used to be chilling and shit. And then one day he called me. He was like, I want to put Digga down with the Flip Mode Squad. So I was like, bet, yeah, that's even better. And so now they signed to Elektra Records, so she had 2 deals. So that was even better. You know what I mean? I was spending all of that money. Like, yes, nigga, anybody let's go, nigga.
Dope. So that album was only released on cassette, right?
Which one?
The musical
yeah,
Meltdown.
It was on cassette. Like, I don't even think CDs was jumping back then. I think it was just all cassette. Everybody had these tapes, you know what I mean?
Right.
That was the day, man. Word.
So
but yeah.
So why did it not get a proper release? Vinyl, in stores, all that?
Because they wanted to release Pudgy the Fat Bastard first. You know him?
Yeah.
And his shit just totally flopped.
Right.
So like put a strain on how they wanted to go about doing music, because they had CeCe Peniston, Mint Condition. They had a bunch of motherfuckers. And you know Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis is really R&B motherfuckers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we was trying to impress on them how, you know, the importance of hip hop part of the label. So they decided to put Pudgy the Fat Bastard out because his album was already done. But that shit flopped so bad that it gave them a bad taste in their mouth, and they just was like slowed down on everything. You know what I mean? And I'm not with that slow shit.
I honestly bought a copy of that. Maybe I was one of the 10 people that bought it, but
okay. Now, you know, if it did nothing else, it got me mad, like publicity and promotion, and then I start like linking up with niggas that was really good, was reaching out to me and shit. You know what I mean? We're all the Master Ace niggas and shit. Shout out to Master Ace, that's my bro. You know what I mean? So all niggas like that started reaching out to me. So I felt good, because remember, I wasn't even in it for the money. I was in it because I wanted to be the best MC in the world. You know what I mean? Right. So me getting publicity was like money to me. Letting people know how fresh I am. You know what I mean? That was my currency from it. You know what I mean? My trophy.
Right.
So that's how I felt about it. It wasn't, you know, I wasn't into, oh, I'm getting rich and all of that. No, I was into, yo, they gonna put out my music and everybody in the world gonna hear me. You know what I mean?
Right. So the album, did it leak? Is that how the Source got a hold of it?
I don't even know how the Source got a hold of it. I don't even know how that process went. But I think Kobe, the A&R, he wanted to salvage as much as he can, so he started getting me like little interviews, and I guess, you know, putting Kobe is the one who said, if we give this to the Source and they give you a good rating, it could be good for your career. But the Source dogged me out in the rating department. You know what I mean? Right. And then so we had the video of it wasn't Put Your Hands in the Sky. It was the first video I did on Perspective. I forgot the name of it. Damn, I'm short-minded right now, but we was at the video. I'm doing the video. So Pace and Digga just came up to me with the Source magazine in their hand, and yo, bro, they was crying. And I'm like they really crying. And I'm like, you know, because I wasn't into magazines like them. Like Pace have 100 magazines every day. You know what I mean? Digga reading magazine. I don't really do that. So when they came up to me crying, I'm like, yo, what's wrong? What the fuck? And they was like, look at your rating in the Source. And I looked and I was like, what do that even mean? You know what I mean? And they was like, yo, they gave you a bad rating and shit. And I was like, man, don't sweat that shit. Don't let nobody tell you that your music ain't jumping. I was like, if niggas don't like our music, they don't like hip hop.
Right.
Word up. That's how I felt. But they was really hurt because of that. You know what I mean?
Looking back, do you think that hurt your career, that rating? Because everybody looked at the Source as the Bible for hip hop. Do you think, looking back,
where is the Source right now?
Flopped. Yeah, it's not around.
Yeah. And where am I? I'm still doing music right now. I'm still making money. I'm still happy because